Welcome to Local Edition. I'm Bella Shaw, and we're so happy to have Oxnard Mayor Tim Flynn. He's been in Lake Flynn for 4.5 years here in the community. And this is a very familiar community to you. You've been in the area a long time.
Yes. Yeah, my family came to Ventura County in 1927 because of oil, out of all things. Settled on the Ventura Avenue. And my grandfather worked all but 6 months during the Great Depression because of the industry. And eventually my family migrated to Santa Barbara County, and that's where I was born, in Santa Barbara. My parents were married, and my dad came back, my mom, in '61, 2 years after I was born, because the teaching jobs paid $1,000 more a month here, $4,000 instead of $3,000 in Santa Barbara, and the homes in Oxnard were $18,000 instead of $23,000 in Santa Barbara.
Now let's fast forward over 50 years.
Yeah, right.
The average home now is
yeah, right. 600,000. Yeah, exactly.
The teacher salary is now
probably more like 80,000, so
yeah.
70,000, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And as you drive along, maybe the 101 or just in the community, what are the big changes that you've seen? You know, you want to always advance and go forward, but yet there's part of it that remains nostalgic for you.
Well, that word nostalgia is very interesting because I am actually a very nostalgic person, and having been raised here in the city of Oxnard, you know, it was a town of probably about 30,000 people when my parents came, and it was very rural, very farming oriented, and you know, an agrarian, you know, culture even. And you know, the town kind of grew up around Santa Clara Church, which is in the center of the city, and so that's where I you know, I went to school at Santa Clara, and where my family went to church. So we actually went, you know, kind of got right in with people here locally. In fact, this location is Maulhardt, that's, you know, it's pronounced the German way, and of course the Maulhardt family came about 160 years ago from Germany, and they were one of those old pioneer families. So I went to school with them also.
And was bedeuten Maulhardt? What does Maulhardt mean?
Maulhardt. Maulhardt. I think, you know, Maul, I think, is has to do with mouth, I think,
okay.
And then Hart, I think, is along like the mouth of a river, I think, is what that is.
Very good.
Yeah.
And so one little interesting thing about Tim Flynn is that he does speak fluent German. He studied in Bonn, Germany. So you are fluent, and so
yeah,
and
that's
you
great.
have a very good accent.
Thank you.
So having been here for that long and seen all the changes that Oxnard has gone through, and now you are the mayor, the fiscal situation here, is that improving now?
Well, vastly. As you know, the Great Recession in 2008 had a catastrophic effect on some cities in the state of California that actually went bankrupt. And many local cities, including Oxnard, faced the very same challenges with a lot less revenue. But Oxnard did not lay off its employees. Rather, it relied on attrition to kind of solve a lot of its budgetary issues. But therein were a lot of problems that longer-term fiscal mismanagement and/or built-in deficits in our budgets that weren't dealt with until just 2 years ago. And over the last 2 years, it's been really digging out of not only the recession, but a lot of fiscal mismanagement. And we're right now on a very positive path and a very stable, you know, and a very stable outlook. But we still have, you know, enormous challenges. And I guess that's probably the case for every city, every state, and, you know, the nation.
Does it help that Port Hueneme is here? Does that help Oxnard in a lot of ways, or?
Well, I think. Well, first and foremost, the naval installations are, you know, a critical part of Ventura County's economy. You know, several $1 billion a year are contributed to the, you know, gross domestic product of Ventura County, and it probably rivals the agriculture industry in the effect that it has on the economy. So first and foremost are the two naval installations, Point Mugu and Port Hueneme. But certainly the port and the expansion of the port has been a tremendous asset to all of Ventura County. Of course, a lot of cars are both imported and exported out of the port. And as San Pedro and northern locations have become overly congested, many importers and exporters have found Port Hueneme to be close enough to Los Angeles and to area points of distribution. And on the one hand, and on the other hand, it's been very convenient with an economy in Ventura County that's still very dependent on agriculture and exporting citrus in particular, but other produce. So very higher paying jobs come from the harbor, and the harbor is looking to expand, and we know that international trade is a integral part of the U.S. economy.
So we've talked about the fiscal part and the recession, and government. You've got a new city manager that's helping, and
right. I don't know if you consider 2 years still new. I still look at them as new because just about all the challenges that we're facing, it seems, are they're somewhat new in the sense that the city under this new city manager sought to really regain the confidence of the people, the residents of the city, because we had a very unsettling, very dark set of occurrences that took place over the last several decades, and out of that, has emerged a new government, a more transparent government, and most importantly, an honest government. And so at the core of that, of course, in every city is a city manager, and we couldn't have hired any better of a city manager, Greg Nyhoff. So very positive results are coming out of his administration, or since he took over 2 years ago. And as mayor, I work very closely together with him and the city council so that we can continue on a very positive path for the city.
restore confidence in the city.
Yes, absolutely.
Anything else you see as a topic that we might discuss? We've talked about the financial situation. We haven't really addressed the drought situation here. Water is probably something that you're discussing a lot as the city manager. Actually,
yeah. And it is a little bit ironic that here we have this, once every 25-year rain that's taking place here in Oxnard and in California. And in fact, it's been the issue of water and the utilities that the city provides its residents. 3 utilities: wastewater, or otherwise sewer, trash, and water. And it's been in those 3 utilities that they're operated as independent companies. And so whatever the costs are to operate those facilities, those are the charges in the form of utility bills that the residents pay. And about 9 months ago, the city council raised the wastewater rate, meaning the rate that customers are charged for sewer. And several months later, an initiative or a referendum on that decision came about, and Measure M, and 72% of the public in the city of Oxnard voted down the rate increase. And now what we're doing is re-engaging the public, re-engaging the author of Measure M, working very closely with them and with the community and with the business community to put together a new rate that hopefully is going to be compatible or acceptable to not only the residents but to the businesses in the community. But this issue about infrastructure goes beyond wastewater. Water is as everybody knows, is basically the equivalent of liquid gold now.
That's what I was just going to say.
Right, and so one of the ironies about wastewater is that when people here in the city reduced their water consumption, it meant that there was less outflow into the sewer system, and
so
that caused a lot of problems.
Can we hold that and talk about that the next time you come visit us?
Absolutely.
Tim Flynn, the Oxnard Mayor, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
We'll be talking water next time he joins us here on Local Edition. I'm Bella Shaw. We'll see you then.